Lake Shasta, a tournament destination for literally every tournament organization that operates in the West. Usually, Shasta is among the first events on everyone's schedule. There's reasons for this. First of all, Lake Shasta is a prolific fishery, and I'm not going to say it's easy to catch fish, but I can catch a limit of bass at Shasta almost anytime I go there, and that's saying a lot about how prolific the fishery is. So what I think happens is that every tournament organization wants to have events where fish are caught. And if you got to have a tournament in January and you want your anglers to catch fish, you take them to Lake Shasta. Uh, so as a result, when we watch these Shasta events, they're an event at Shasta Lake is synonymous with terrible weather. Probably a snowstorm, or at the very least, about 6 inches of rain over the course of the event. It's always that way. One thing is for certain about Shasta, and that is that limits are easy to come by. I've already said that, I can catch a limit of bass at Shasta. Uh, Now, what is a problem about those fish at Shasta is that there are thousands, probably millions of bass in this cookie cutter size, about a pound and a half or so, 13 and a half, 14 inches, and they're just all over the place. Um, Winning at Shasta takes talent, and talent at Lake Shasta means being able to catch the bigger bass that live in Lake Shasta. In our Western Kings series today, we are going to be talking to a Lake Shasta expert. Our guest today is a bona fide Western King with a dominance at Lake Shasta and other Northern California lakes that is virtually unrivaled. He has dominated at Lake Shasta in events since about 2009, where he has won a tour event in virtually every organization that he has fished. More recently, he won the 2024 WAN Bass Shasta Lake Open. He's currently a competitor on the BAM Super 60 Tour as well as the WAN Bass Tour. These are the most prestigious events that we have in the West. Today, we're talking to Nick Wood. Nick, welcome to the Bass Pro Anglers Podcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We are doing this. This is part of what I'm referring to as our Western Kings series. Trying to focus on hammers that at the big venues that we fish our tournaments on out here. And obviously, you thrive on Lake Shasta. I mean, you've done well other places, but I think when you think about Lake Shasta, you gotta beat Nick Wood if you're going to have a chance to win.
Yep.
Um, you've got a lot of wins there. Obviously, we've kind of talked about some of the pro events, but I know you and your team partner do weather. How many tournaments do you fish at Shasta a year?
I probably fish with open tournaments, team tournaments and stuff. I would guess, and I could be wrong. I would guess I probably fish 25 to 30 ballpark. I could be off a little bit, but I try to fish all of the ABAs. Phil's Propeller has a series that I try to hit all those. There's some local events that just have open, tournaments. All the pro-ams, I try to make sure I don't miss any of the pro-ams. Um, I would say 15 to 20-ish.
Yeah.
Uh, it might be a little bit high. That might be a little high. Every year is a little different, but that, on an average, I would say that would be consistent.
Well, and see, to my point, I think what that says about Lake Shasta is that it is a premier tournament destination in the West. Uh, I mean, every organization tries to land there. Every pro organization tries to land there, and so yeah, a guy literally could fish 15 to 20 or more events at that lake every year. Let's talk a little bit about the fish species at Shasta. I mean, you've got the whole deck of cards there for bass fishing, right?
Yeah, there is. So there's a really obvious high population of spotted bass. That's the predominant fish that's in the lake as far as tournament fishing. There's a pretty good population of largemouth. The largemouth are really doing good. Um, they're probably one in the springtime. You need to have a big largemouth to be really competitive. Um, this last year, I was fishing in the Sacramento arm. I like to fish the Sacramento arm. There's no big secret about that. And this year, I went up there, and I would say I probably caught 40 to 50 fish up there, and I would say half of them were largemouth, which is usually it's not normal to see that many largemouth. Usually guys are like, "Oh, I caught a largemouth today." That was an exciting thing to have happen. Well, this last year, especially up the Sacramento arm, it was 20 largemouth that you would catch a day. Like you were, and they were only about a pound and a half. But that's telling me that the largemouth had a really good spawn. And they've made it past, the being immature, and they're going to survive. There's going to be in the next 3 or 4 years, there's going to be a very healthy population of largemouth, which is good. The smallmouth are not very predominant there. They used to be, but they're not. They're smallmouth caught, but they're very rarely do you have any big smallmouth caught, and those are something that you could target. I would say the two primary fish in the bass fishing tournament it is going to be your spotted bass and largemouth. As far as other species of fish, there's trout, there's catfish, there's crappie, there's bluegill, there's shad, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's a extremely healthy lake.
Ducket Fishing's Sway Minnow System. How's your jig head minnow game? Introducing Ducket Fishing's Sway Minnow System. Not just a bait, an entire fishing system. Perfectly balanced jig heads in several fish catching sizes, matched up with the most realistic looking winged minnow baits that you've ever seen. With multiple size baits and jig head weights, you'll be able to figure out the perfect presentation. Check out the Ducket Fishing Sway Minnow System by going to ducketfishing.com. Reason number 14 that your next boat should be a Camus. Our 17-inch running pad. Earl Bentz is an expert in boating performance, and when he considered that today's bass boats have 4 and sometimes 5 batteries, he designed our hulls to be able to handle the additional weight and use that extra weight to improve performance. The result is our 17-inch running pad. Not only will your Camus handle rough water better than their boat will, you'll also enjoy maximum hole shots and phenomenal high-end performance. Build your next boat by going to CamusBoats.com. I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass Tour Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.